All right, you want some extra practice with graphing parabolas. Should be just a quick thing. I just have two problems for you here. First thing you need to do is factor it. So let's factor the equation. Two things that multiply to give me 8, but add or subtract to give me 2 will be a 2 or a 4. And again, if you're not comfortable with the shortcut, you can just use the old box and X method. This just takes a lot longer. Two things that multiply to give me 8, add or subtract to give me 2. That's why it's shorter to just do that. So 2x and 4x. And that's going to be a positive 4. So when I add these two together, now I get the positive 2. Okay, and I'll put those over here and here, and then factor out, and those give me the factors. It's just much quicker to start right up here. Just go positive 4 and negative 2 here. You can check with the smiley face, the negative 2x, the positive 4x. When I add them, I get the positive 2x in the middle. Okay, so those are my factors. Let's delete all that, erase all that. So at this point, it's just y equals that. So I just rewrote it so it's in factoring form. Sorry, graphing form. And these 2 points here, I want to figure out our intercepts, meaning my height of the parabola at that point, or at those points, is 0. So if I let my height be 0, and I solve these, I use the zero product property. I'll say ZPP for short. The zero product property to make this equal to 0. So x minus 2 equals 0, or x plus 4 is 0. It's just as easy to do these in your head. Just do that. The opposite of that and the opposite of that goes pretty quick. So positive 2. So here x equals 2 or negative 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So those are my two x-intercepts. Then at this point, we need 4 things. I want you to give me 4 things to graph. I want the x-intercepts, I want the y-intercept, and I want the vertex. Okay, so I'll do the vertex next. Okay, the vertex lies on the line that's halfway between, the line of symmetry that's halfway between the x-intercepts. So if I figure out what's halfway between these two numbers, let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 3 over, 1, 2, 3. Or you can just count your way over and just work your way in from each side until you meet yourselves in the middle there. And then now this equation, x equals, what is this, negative 1? That's a vertical line right here. That's my line of symmetry. Okay. Well, my line of symmetry happens to be half of my vertex. So negative 1 comma something. Okay, I can figure it out. So what I do is I take that negative 1, that's my x value, plug it in. I would plug it in the original problem. You could plug it in here and here, and it'll work. But you're kind of always safer just to go back to the original so you don't mess something up. Negative 1 squared is 1. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2 minus 8. So just negative 1 minus 8, which is negative 9. So I go down to negative 9. There's my vertex. And then the last thing I need to find is my y-intercept. My y-intercept looks like this, 0, comma, something. Okay. So if I plug in 0 for x, there and there, 0 plus 0 minus 8, you simply have to look at this last number. As long as it's in this form, standard form. So negative 8 is my y-intercept. And that's it. Now I'm going to have a fun time trying to sketch this graph, this parabola through here with a mouse, but let me try it here. Yeah. And roughly speaking, perfectly drawn, of course. There we go. This is supposed to be smooth, but you get the idea. Now, whenever you have a point over here, you can do the symmetry thing. So it's the same on both sides, the same distance from any point. If you happen to have another point up here, you can know this, it's the same distance from here to here from the line of symmetry. All right, let's do one more. Go ahead and factor it. You can do this on your own if you want to try it without my help. I'm going to say minus 6 and minus 1. Because 6 times 1 is 6. Smiley face, negative 6, negative 1. These are x's. Gives me negative 7x. So that's going to be the correct factoring. To get my intercepts now, I just take the opposites of these. So I'm going to say positive 6 and positive 1. Okay, again, x minus 6 is 0, or x minus 1 equals 0. If I make this all equal to 0 for my y, my height is now 0, which means I'm going to find my intercepts, my x-intercepts. So x equals 6 or 1. There we go. To find the vertex, to go halfway between there. Now, it's a little trickier now because I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's an odd number, so I have to go 1, 2 and a half. So my line of symmetry is going to go through that point. So if I do something like this, move that over a little bit. Okay, and then my line of symmetry goes through there. So it's x equals, what is this? 1, 2, 3 and a half actually. Okay, it's 2 and a half from this point, but the actual line is 3 and a half from the origin. So I have 3 and a half comma something for my vertex. So 3.5 comma something. I'll leave the space. I'm just going to plug in 3.5 on my calculator here. My 7 times 3.5. It gets a little funky like this. I just prefer to use the calculator. And this is squared. Don't forget that. I'm going to plug in negative or positive 3.5 squared, and then minus 7 times 3.5 plus 6. I get negative 6.25. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.25. So there's my vertex. I still have to find my y-intercept. So it looks like it's going to be over here somewhere. Well, there it is right there, the last number, 6. Now, this is what I was talking about where you have symmetry here. You might as well, if this is, just go straight across here. Say 1, 2, 3 and a half, half, 1, 2, 3. This way you have another point to make your parabola go through. This would be nice and symmetric here. So we've got this. Oops, that's pretty pathetic. And that's all right. That'll work. All right. That's about it. Now, if for some reason, I'm not going to do this in this video, but if you've tried to factor this and it's unfactorable, like let's say this is a 5 in here or something, or maybe not a 5, maybe because that is factorable. Maybe it was a 1. Okay. 1 works too. I'm going to think of a number that doesn't work. 12. I don't know, something crazy. That doesn't work. You can't factor it. It doesn't mean you can't draw it. Okay. You just, at this point, we're just going to use our calculators and plug them in. What it means is that these points don't lie right on lattice points here. They're not nice integers. They're going to be some decimals. So if there's some decimal, you're not going to be able to factor it. All right, good luck.